Hey, what's up guys? This is PokerXpress, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos, as your support is allowing us to continue posting videos on a daily basis.
Jordan will be first to act on the button here, three-handed. King 10, good enough to just flat call.
I like that Jordan's mixing it up. It's definitely a raisable hand given his position. I think he wants to disguise his hands a little bit and also get a little bit more post-flop action.
Well, Vermean calls from the small blind. Roger checks his options, so onto the flop we go, which is 10, deuce, 6, rainbow.
Both players quickly check over to Jordan in position, and Jordan in this limped pot has connected with top pair and a king kicker. None of the other two players flopped anything to work with.
You're right about that. Vermean's gonna fold, but Roger with a gut shot straight draw, being a little stubborn here, he's gonna make the call.
And wow, does the turn hit Roger huge here as he makes his gut shot and he checks it over to Jordan. And I don't see Jordan doing anything but firing a second barrel. It looks like a pretty harmless 8 there.
Jordan with top pair, second kicker, has just been outturned as Roger hits the 10 high straight. And Jordan's gonna bet into Roger.
I want to see Roger start slowing down when he's turning the absolute nuts on his opponents. You need to extract maximum value. It's hard to make these nut hands, and here he's probably going to lose Jordan when Jordan would have happily called just maybe a 2x raise.
Well, Jordan with top pair, second kicker in a three-handed game is pretty strong.
It's still going to be quite a big laydown for Jordan to make, but I think he's going to be able to get away from it just because it would cost him his tournament life, and Roger has not shown that he's capable of check raise bluffing on the turn with absolutely nothing. The only thing that I see that might make Jordan call is the fact that the turn did bring a backdoor flush draw, and if he thinks Roger's capable of semi-bluffing, then he might hero him here with King 10.
I can't guarantee anything.
Big decision for Jordan Jane. Tournament life on the line. If he calls, he's dead. And he is going to lay it down. And once again, Roger shows the nuts.
Roger, sweetie, let's not show him every time. We should have...
This is Norman Michalik. And he is going to open the pot for $12,000. Craig Casino folds. We are over to Chris Wagner. He's going to lay it down. This is Thomas Montoya from Albuquerque, New Mexico, a local player. His first HPT event.
He's going to go ahead and fold that weak ace to Norm's under the gun open.
John is going to fold. Back to Roger. 3 deuce offsuit. Nah. The chainsaw, Alan Kessler folds. And this is Charles Vargas.
He looks down at the King 10 of diamonds from the small blind. I think he's thinking about calling the raise here.
Charles owns a barbershop from nearby Gallup, New Mexico, playing in his first HPT event. He is going to call the raise from Norm.
Cruz has 5-3, and if memory serves me correctly, I feel like Cruz is a defender.
Cruz does not like folding his big blind. He's going to make the call. Any two cards can win, Maria. Read a book.
Some people say that, but those people leak a lot of chips in that process.
The flop is Jack 9-9 Rainbow.
And Norm's flopped top pair here with his Queen Jack.
Both players check over to Norm. He is getting some betting chips ready and tosses them in the middle. They total 18,000.
Charles has a gut shot straight draw and backdoor flush possibility, so he's going to come along. Cruz is going to fold.
Well, Norm was able to shed one of the two opponents on his flop bet. The turn brings a queen of clubs.
And that is the gin card that Charles was looking for, and now Norm has improved his hand to not jacks and nines, but queens and jacks, so we can expect to see him bet again.
Norm is going to fire 28,000.
And I think Charles is mulling over his options.
I'm all in.
And he's going to decide to just go all in here and now, and I don't really expect Norman to fold. It's only 62,000 more for him to call. Although I don't see Charles going all in with a hand that Norm can beat, but You never know what these players are thinking.
Call has been announced, ladies.
Norm does make the call, and he's going to see the bad news that he's against a straight here. So Norm is going to hope to find a queen, a jack, or a 9 to give him a full house.
Deuce.
The river is the 10 of spades, and Charles Vargas is going to double up with the king high straight to find way to start the final table.
Thomas Giorgi.
Luis Sierra has been one of the short stacks the entire final table. The guy has a lot of fight in him, and he's only got $360 invested into this event. We continue six-handed with the blinds here at 30 and 60,000 with a 10,000 chip ante. And action will start with Thomas Giorgi. He's going to fold, as does Lewis, along with Justin Fabush. Now we're on James Calderaro. The Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room uses the European placard-style chips for their bigger denominations.
They just look cooler. And Caldo is going to put those plaques to use, raising on the button with Jack 10 suited. It's going to make it 160,000 to go. Of course, Kong fam, never one to give up in the blinds that easily, is going to 3-bet, it looks like.
Kong fam has been driving the action at this final table since we began 9-handed last time on the HPT. He's got a lot of gamble in him, and he's going to keep the pressure on his opponents.
He makes it 400,000 to go. John Hawley in the big blind looks at Queen 9. Probably not going to play Queen 9 offsuit to a cold 3-bet.
John is a professional fisherman, might be the coolest job on the planet. He also lives in Niceville, Florida. That just seems like a nice place to visit.
Caldo here with Jack 10 suited is probably not going anywhere. It's a hand that will play good post flop, and he's in position. Plus, Kong's been known to show a deuce here or there on his 3-bets.
Kong has shown a couple of bluffs so far at this final table. That's affected the dynamics of play against him.
And James does indeed call from the button.
And the flop is Ace, 10, Queen, Rainbow. So both players get a little bit of this. Kong connects with top pair. James hits bottom pair.
Both Kong and James have straight draws for Broadway here, and the turn is the king of spades, which makes James' straight draw come in here, and Kong's going to check it over to him.
James is more than likely going to fire a bet here on the turn. The question is, what's Kong going to do? And James does fire, makes it 250,000 to go.
I like the restraint Kong showed once James did call his 3-bet pre-flop. Kong realized that that might not be the best flop to fire a continuation, and here he's just going to call the 250,000, not completely believing that James has a better hand, but not wanting to put a lot of chips into this pot either with just a top pair.
The river is the deuce of clubs, so James has the best hand with Broadway.
Kong checks it over to him, and I think if I were James, I would just bet pretty small here. It looks like Kong has a one-pair kind of hand, and if James wants him to call, he's going to probably have to bet less than a third pot.
1.4 million in the pot, and he fires 400,000.
I think that's just too big of a bet, to be honest. I don't think Kong's going to hero him here. James hasn't really shown that he's much of a bluffer, especially to bluff that kind of board on the river is very, very difficult for most players to do. I guess I was wrong, though, because it looks like Kong is going to call James on the river, basically thinking that James was bluffing the turn table. And I don't know if that's a good strategy or not for him. We'll have to see how it works out.
Paul calls the blind with a king 5 off.
Jacob decides to check his option from the big blind with 6-4 offsuit.
Here comes the flop. 6-2-3. Jacob with a pair of sixes. Not much help to Paul.
Paul has a gut shot straight draw, but he's not going to bet it. He checks it over.
Jacob bets out 65,000. Overcard, gut straight. Does he make the call?
Paul's just thinking off of his stack size. Does he want to just try to call for a gut shot here? Is there enough implied odds and enough equity really for him to get some chips from Jacob if he did hit his gut shot and he decides it's worth a try?
All right, turn card, please, there, Michelle. Eight of spades.
8 of spades hits the turn. No help to anyone. Jacob's still good with the pair of sixes.
Jacob decides that he wants to pot control here, checks back with his pair.
River card.
River brings a 4. Boom.
That's not a good card for Jacob. It gives him 2 pair, but it gives Paul that gut shot straight he was looking for.
Some chips are going to change hands here. Paul bets out 70,000.
You know, it's such a tiny bet that even though Jacob doesn't like the texture of the board, he's just going to cry call.
If you enjoy our videos and would like to see more, make sure to check out the links in the description. Also, make sure to comment below what you would like to see next, and we will work on your ideas as soon as possible.
Raising into the random hand of the big blind.
Flop is deuce, 6, king, rainbow. So William connects with top pair. Jed has a gut shot straight draw.
And you know, Jed's going to try to be aggressive now. And I just think he picked a bad time considering William did flop top pair.
Jed fires out 60,000 as William deliberates his options, and he chooses to call.
Jed's looking for a 5. There it is.
No waiting. Hello. Jed has turned the joint, the nut straight, and he's going to check it over to William, who's still sitting with top pair.
So Jed decides to bet when he wasn't there yet, and now that he's gotten there, he decides to check it over, which I think it's good to try to induce William to bet here. William could have been floating you, or, you know, he could have had no real equity in his hand, so you want to give him a chance to bluff at it.
And William does do the bidding for him. It makes it 90,000 to go.
And Jed's not scared of any rivers here. As you can see, there's no flush draw possible, and I feel like if Jed check raises here, that's just going to signal so much strength to William because of Jed's image that William's hand might just go flying into the muck. So I don't like that he is going to raise here. I think he should just call and try to extract more value. I think he's very lucky that William does have top pair here because William might not fold that. But like I said, I mean, William knows how Jed's been playing, and I don't think he's going to take this check raise very lightly.
William is going to call the extra 150,000.
You can't really blame him because, like I said, you have top pair here in a blind versus blind situation. But, you know, if Jed bets anything substantial, I think he's going to get William to lay it down.
The river is the ace of clubs, and that just might be an action killer. Of course, Jed is going to go for value on the river. And Maria, you said it many times on the HBT, poker is really 2 streets of where you have a chance to get paid. Does the check raise on the turn kind of kill the action on the river?
I think when you have Jed's image, it does, because somebody who's fairly tight and playing their hand this way like Jed is, you got to think that, you know, your pair of kings isn't good, although it is hard to lay down in this situation. I don't think he's going to get paid off on the river if he bets anything over half pot, really.
That is a big bet, 560,000.
I think it's hard for William to think that the ace improved Jed's hand any, so that's why he calls. But I mean, I don't know. I think William could have laid it down. I think Jed gave him every opportunity.
Hey, the chainsaw finished 15th place. Matter of fact, just barely missing this final table. Shout out to you, Alan Kessler.
Action over to Tim now. He's in the small blind. Looks down at 5-4 of hearts. Tim's had a few hands. He's picked a few positions to play those hands. Second and third place for him, which you never want to see at the poker table.
It's just like a horse race, you know. All the money is in winning. There's no show in place at this table.
Tim's going to make the call. Now to the big blind we go, and Robert will see if he defends. It's looking like he's going to do that. He's reaching for chips. He's going to make the call with the HPT special, the King-Queen.
Surely is. Is there more kings and queens in the deck than anything else? I mean, I'm starting to wonder, James.
We see a lot of people play the King-Queen. The flop is A7 tray.
And a great flop for Thomas. He flops top 2 pair. But don't forget, Tim has a double gut shot draw. A deuce or a 6 gives him a straight.
You know, Tim's had a little bit of bad luck tonight. Maybe this hand will turn everything around. 6 of clubs
Speak
comes
of
on
the
the
devil.
turn.
Well, not because it's a 6.
Right, yeah.
Wrong reference there, James.
So Tim hits the 6 of clubs to complete his straight, and he's going to bet 70,000.
Well, this could be very expensive to Tom by checking that flop. But I think he was probably going to lose this pot regardless. You know, course, unless he gets an ace or a 7. But I think he was going to have some damage regardless, but he might have even more with this turn card.
So the king-queen gets out of the way. Thomas is going to make the call.
Wow, he just calls. Great. Only call. I don't think I could have done that. I think I'd have had to have raised.
And the river card now is the 9 of spades. So this will be interesting here on the end. Now Tim's going to check.
Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Wow. Give him some rope. Let him hang himself. And Tom's probably going to have to go for this. I mean,
Tom thinking of a
all
value
in,
bet.
he
It's
says.
all in and a snap call by Tim. All in and a snap. And that is going to do it for Thomas Corral. He's been eliminated. He's going to go out in 7th place with just under $17,000.
I don't think I fault Tom at all for the way he played the hand. Some days chicken, some days feather. Today,